Do you remember that sound? That was the sound of the old dial-up modem we used to hear every time we want to get connected to the internet. This was the pre-Streamix days. And all that the internet could do then was to receive and send email, participate in bulletin boards, and surf the World Wide Web. And read MalaysiaKini.com. But it was during the tail end of the dial-up era and the beginning of the broadband era that Cyberjaya.tv came onto the scene, a pioneer in providing video content to internet users worldwide. And hot on the heels of Cyberjaya.tv came Malaysia.tv. They were helmed by people who did not know each other but had one thing in common. Both were chartered accountants and in their early 30s. So why did they get into this?
We see this as part of the infrastructure for Cyberjaya. So the company looked at it as an investment, as a developer. So at that time, Cyberjaya was still in the early days, and there's a need both for one to give more information about what is happening in Cyberjaya, and two is to provide more activities in content, creative content within the area. So that's the main reason why they come up with Cyberjaya TV. Those were the years of experimentation, in line with the spirit of MSc as being a area for experimenting for new technology, new way of doing things. So at that time, YouTube was not even around. So it was never meant to be a commercial operation. It's meant as a to break new ground, to tell people, hey, this is what is possible, this is what can be done.
Okay, why? Okay, we had our production company at that time, and the production company was doing quite well. So we have some extra funds. So we thought to ourselves, okay, why don't we do something about it? And the year was 2002, 2003, right? And we know that internet explosion, broadband explosion is coming up, and the most natural thing that people would like to do is actually to have an on-demand TV. And it's a new concept at that time. Nobody has done it yet, is it? Of course, there are some sort of small players toying with the idea and all that. At that time, YouTube wasn't around yet even. YouTube was 2005. But before YouTube, there was like, no, I think even Meta Cafe came after us as well. So we are considered a pioneer in the scene, So the answer to the question was, we actually, a few of us, we sat down and we thought, okay, let's do something new, and we thought, okay, let's do a web TV, to have on-demand interactive TV was sort of something cool to have at that time. I suppose now it's passé, it's everywhere, but at that time it was like the leading edge. But the problem was we are hampered by technology, I suppose. It's still new, and the bandwidth wasn't there and all that. At that time, Microsoft had some, within Windows itself, they have some streaming technology and all that. And then the buzzwords was also already about streaming videos. It's just that there's no real proper implementation. People were talking about CDN in the content delivery networks and all that, but there's no real platform or portal that actually offers that kind of service. The other reason was, I guess in a way, some of us, myself personally, also we sort of gotten bored in doing the kind of thing that we were already doing, so it's just something to try out and test the water, I suppose.
The approaches were however different. While Cyberjaya.tv had scheduled and live programming, Malaysia.tv was mostly an on-demand channel.
It's more like an informative, edutainment kind of channel. It's not targeted just for Cyberjaya residents only. We have live show every day, which was held by Suhaimi Sulaiman, Kamarul Muhamed, and Tengku Elida. It's broadcast what we call a linear channel. So that's the format that's being developed. The channel was watched from, I think the last time, over 20 countries, and surprisingly quite a number of followers from places like UK and also US as well.
From the onset, we decided that we wanted to do an on-demand TV. Okay, so there's no schedule, no scheduling, it's just purely on demand. And we decided also at that time that the format should be short form. It's like tapas, you know, it's like small tidbits you just take and then you go, you want something, you can just go and refer, kind of thing, you know. So it was designed in that kind of format, you know. So what kind of thing? We started by soliciting contents from various sources, you know, manufacturers to advertise their things, you know, some of the fun and kind of entertainment kind of contents. Our team, we actually have a dedicated team that goes around and then do that. But they are quite young kind of people, you know, new in the broadcast industry. They just recently graduated. But of course, we have our core team. They are into production, so we help them go out and source for contents. We tried to shy away from politics at that time, so yeah, there was no politics. You know, so it was purely business and entertainment to start with. Of course, we had planned to expand. But I suppose it did not get that far. Yeah. Yeah.
But how did you manage the bandwidth? Because also on dial-up, I mean.
That was the Achilles heel, basically. You know, people are on dial-up and broadband is still new. You know, and I think at that time the penetration was just like 3%, very minuscule. So the videos are at that time we uses. I mean, the maximum bandwidth was just 300 kbps, so it's very small. And of course, it's actually even scaled to even lower. If I'm not mistaken, it was like 64K for those folks who are on dial-up. So they get poor quality. But then again, even though it's bad in today's, I mean, compared to what we have today, but it was like the thing at that time, you know. It was quite an interesting thing, you know, because you are used to static website, you know, you're used to all that you have at that time was GIFs. You know, you're talking about animation, you only have GIF images. Suddenly you have video on your website, so it's a new thing. Even though the quality was diabolical, you know, but it's you have to start somewhere, I suppose. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we cannot show you the clips from cyberjaya.tv or malaysia.tv. Both are defunct as they were then. Now, the URLs are owned by other people or organizations. So why did they call it quits?
In your point of view, was Cyberjaya TV successful?
It's successful to meet what we want to achieve. That is a way for us to tell the message of what is going on in Cyberjaya and what can be done, and to stimulate activities. I think as far as that is concerned, it is successful. Of course, as a commercial operations, that was not what it was meant to be.
But why did it stop?
I'm not sure. I think after that, not long after that, I left the company, and there's a new management team that came in. Maybe they got different priorities, different planning, what they want to do. So I can't really answer that question.
We killed it after close to 2 years, actually. I mean, we persevered for quite a while. You know, so we have like two sides of the operation. One side is making the money. The other side is burning it away, basically. You know, but no regrets, because I thought, hey, I mean, if you don't take risks, you won't get anywhere, basically. So we took the risk. Even though we were quite successful in getting the viewership, I mean, getting the clicks, getting the views, but the problem was on two counts, I think. Okay, number one is it's very difficult to attract advertisers at that time. Okay, it's a totally new concept for advertisers, basically. You know, and internet at that time was perceived to be a free platform. You know, and at that time also it wasn't taken very seriously. You know, this is like 10, 12 years ago. Internet wasn't taken seriously. I mean, unlike today. Today is different. Today is like, I mean, I can't live for one day without internet, right? Today, you know? But in those days, internet was new. For advertisers, they don't think it's worth their investment. So we couldn't get the advertisers to sustain the operation, basically. So that's one. The economics just doesn't work out. I mean, we were like bleeding. It was fun doing it, but it was like bleeding the company. Yeah. So yeah, we pulled the plug.
Nowadays, we are no longer talking about streaming. We now talk about fiber optics and gigabytes of speed and the online video phenomenon is now as acceptable as switching on the telly.
So I think now a lot more things can be done. It can be done better quality, awareness are different. I think if we do now, our objective would have been different. There will be a possibility of doing it as a commercial operations. So obviously if we start a new project like that now, it has to be done different. It has to be done much better than what we did before.
I think the formula already works. I would not have done it differently at all, because I think the formula works. I mean, the formula in the sense that people want on-demand kind of TV. People want their kind of contents. So what we were missing only at that time was we did not get there where we allow viewers to upload their own contents. So we just did not get to that stage.
But they have not totally left the video production business. Nor Azman Yusoff is operating the Capital TV, a business channel on the unified IPTV network, and Kamarul Muhamed is still focusing on his video production business, but has added drone photography as a service for his clients. Since the nationwide availability of broadband and the emergence of YouTube, video-based sites have proliferated. Some are part of a text-based site, such as Malaysia Kini's Kini TV, Free Malaysia Today, Harakas TV Pass, Antara Post, and Star Online, while others are standalone, such as Mob TV and TV Selangor.
Malaysia Kini started its video section, Malaysia Kini TV, because we felt that there are certain visuals which are very pertinent to news, where the visuals matter more or tell a bigger story than just the text. It was a very active time in Malaysia's political history, a lot of demonstrations, a lot of activities going on. So we thought video would be a very good complement to our text news. And I think it was true. I think that we saw the great videos which our Malaysia Kini team captured in the months and years after they launched. It actually really told a really incredible story of what was happening in Malaysia. I think from a financial point of view, it was very difficult to make back the investment. We didn't adopt a subscription model. There's very little advertising revenue on video at that time. So we understood that it would be kind of a loss leader, that we're going to make losses on it. But the political impact, the news impact of those videos was very worth that investment.
But there is one news site that has so far avoided the bandwagon.
Well, the simple thing is I couldn't find the talent in Malaysia. You want to get good video journalists. Couldn't find it. That was one. Two, when Insider first started, people were getting on to more text. In the last 5 years, there's more YouTube, there's more handphones, data rates are cheaper. So now is actually the right time to go to video. My experience is I was in the first .com bubble that burst in 96, 97. I learned a lot from that one. And with internet, it's always about timing. The early movers go in, they take a stake, but it takes a long time for payback. I think increasingly, yes, for three reasons. One, can't find journalists who can write anymore. Okay? You can't find an audience that wants to read beyond 5 paragraphs. And three, people are so used to videos now, they want to see things that are moving. For the simple reason, they buy 2,000 ringgit tablets, iPads, they buy $2,000 phones. They want to maximize the use of their phones. And then they subscribe to a data rate which is like 100 ringgit a month. You get your 5 gig fair usage policy. So they read enough and they don't use their data, so they're just going to watch a lot of videos. I was in Singapore recently, I took the MRT, and everyone's just engrossed with their phone and just watching serials, 5-minute serials. They just want to shut off from the rest of the world because they work too hard, they have no time to watch TV at home. And the beauty about online is now you can watch anything, okay? And that's also the problem, because you can watch anything. Why would you want to watch Malaysian productions, or why would you want to watch news, unless you believe that you want to have a wider perspective of things, which is what's happening in Malaysia now. So increasingly, Kini TV, a few other guys who are in the market now, they know there's a market for this, right? But you need two things. One, you need the talent to do it. Two, you need a very popular portal, and then you put in a video box there. That's how it works.
It has been about 13 years since broadband became available to the Malaysian public by way of streamings. Now we are talking about gigabytes of speed. Watching video online, especially through YouTube, is no longer a stammering and stuttering experience. However, online TV type programming is still left wanting. But we are looking forward to even better audio-visual experience from the content providers.